And howdy and hi, welcome to another video. Thanks for dropping by. It has been a bit since I've uploaded. It has been quite crazy, honestly, frankly, after Art Fight, if I'm being real. So we're gonna catch up on all that. So first off, this is an Art Fight video. It's going to be a two-parter. So in today's video, we're going to be going over some of my favorite pieces and also some of my attack chains that I had during the event. I'm going to be going over the processes over that, and then as well as going over the chains that I had, especially with two of my art buddies throughout the event. And then in part two, we're going to go over the event as a whole and talk about, you know, all the things I really enjoyed and then some of the things that need improvement, because there were some things that did happen during the event that I've noticed. But I'm going to save that for part two, because for part one, I really want to gush about a lot of my favorite pieces that I did end up doing this year, because there were so many pieces that I really enjoyed the process of, and they brought me a lot of joy to make, especially for the revenge chains, because I feel like towards the end of the event, I really started popping off. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do today, and yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm super excited. Now, we are starting off strong with a piece that was a lot of fun to work with. I got to try out so many different things when I worked on this, including lighting and water effects. But we're going to back up a little bit before I get too into it. We're going to back up. So, this is like a mini revenge chain. Didn't get to go too far with it because I didn't have enough time to respond again. This is basically the one that I started with, the Chokomori, the cute little bear and girl piece that I did. I'll put it up here. And then the response that I got from the artist is this one right here. It is absolutely gorgeous. I lost my freaking mind when I got it, and I immediately had to revenge them right away, because, like, look at it. It's gorgeous. It is stunning. And I had to get them back. But the really funny thing was, apparently, because the artist actually left me a little message in the comments of the artwork, is that ironically they were thinking of attacking me first, but then I attacked them first, because apparently they watched my first Art Fight video, the one where I was giving like tips and stuff, and I was losing my mind. Because how funny is that? That like come on, that's irony right there. That's just irony right there. Because I was also looking at this artist from last year, because I didn't get to attack him, and I was like, this one. Yeah, I thought the whole thing was really funny, and honestly, this piece was so much fun to work on. First of all, the character Nautica, I love her hair. The little ocean wisps and stuff to it, especially because of like the nice sea foam also gives it a nice like curl to it at the ends of the hair. The color palette for the character too is just absolutely top notch, like sea foam pastel, seafaring, you know, that kind of like oceany vibes. Like, all of it was absolutely adorable, so I really wanted to do this character next after doing Chokomori. Because that one was also very nice and pastel, but leaning towards cottagecore. So we're going more in the ocean direction this time. But regardless, I got to try out a lot of different techniques, because I wanted the hair to look like water and put fish and stuff in it. So I think I made about like 20 million layers. I don't remember the exact thing I did. I did do it on stream, so I was literally going back and forth with chat throughout the process of the drawing, but I did use a lot of different opacity layers along with luminosity layers. So I used quite a few, like soft light, hard light. I think I used an overlay in there. I used a lot of different shades of blues and greens on those layers, tested out the opacity to see which ones looked the best. Added some like little bubbles in there to really give it water, you know. So I guess the whole thing of this is, like, when you're trying to do different effects, especially for stuff like water, go stupid, go crazy is honestly the best thing. Like, test out the layers, especially like the light, the luminosity layers. Like, test them out, because depending on what layers you do and the intensity of the opacity, it could give very different effects for the water that you want. Just go stupid, go crazy, give it a ton of tests, play with the opacity. At the end of the day, you could just toggle it off or just change it again if you don't like how it looks. But yeah, honestly, I'm super happy with this piece, and I'm so sad I didn't get my final word in, because the artist, Daik, ended up getting the final word of the year, because they did end up arranging this piece, and I couldn't respond in time. But I will get you next year. If you are seeing this video, Daik, I will get you. But yeah, aside from that, super fun to work on. It was an absolutely gorgeous piece, and I am so happy with how it turned out. But yeah, let's go on to the next piece that I'm also very fond of. Now, this one is a revenge for someone who is actually part of my streams. The fan art freak was actually a concurrent viewer that I had that kept popping into my art face streams, and at some point, they attacked my character Morgan, and it looks absolutely stunning. So I had to absolutely get back at them. So I ended up picking their character Elaine. This gorgeous lady right here is a vigilante supermodel actress lady. So I really wanted to capture that vibe by making her into like a pseudo magazine cover. So I had to look at a lot of magazine covers for references and stuff like that. I went with this like feisty little pose. It took forever to get it correctly because at this point, I believe for that stream, Elaine was like the 4th drawing I had done, and I really wanted to at least finish the line work before I finished stream. So I was starting to get a little bit of fatigue in me, so the proportions were driving me crazy. You're gonna see here, I kept adjusting and adjusting and adjusting because her face just wasn't looking right. And I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. So I kept adjusting the size, going back, looking at it, adjusting it again. It was driving me crazy. I don't know what was going on there. I think I was just tired because I had been drawing so much that day, and this is like gearing towards midnight. I think for this stream, I ended stream around like almost 2 in the morning because I was so stubborn and I just didn't want to stop, but I really should have. But at the same time, I really wanted to finish. It's a really fun time when the chat's yelling at you to sleep and you're like, no. So, that was a fun evening. But eventually I did figure it out after adjusting a lot of the proportions, making sure the framing was right for the hands, because those ended up being on separate layers. So I could resize them, adjust them, and move them around as needed without having to redo sections of line art. So if you end up doing stuff like this, like magazine covers, posing characters in very specific ways, definitely separate the framing devices on a separate layer so you can adjust them as needed, because the framing is really what's gonna make it, because it guides the eyes, if that makes sense. So definitely keep it on a separate layer so you can freely adjust as you need to, and save yourself the headache of having to redo entire sections of line art just because you had to move the hand just a wee bit, Because, my goodness, if I didn't do that, I think I would have lost my mind. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would have gone bonkers. But yeah, Elaine is absolutely fantastic. I love her design. I always loved drawing, like, hero-type characters. I think it just stems from my Tumblr days of being in the Marvel and the DC fandom, Because I do have Marvel and DC characters that I would like to redo in the future because I ended up really liking them, but my poor characters have not seen the light of day for years. But yeah, she gave me a bit of nostalgic kick for like the old days where I used to draw a lot of like superhero inspired characters and stuff like that. So I got to have a nice fun time. But But yeah, it was real fun in the stream because the fan art freak was going absolutely crazy because I was just like, hee, it's Elaine. But yeah, it was overall a really great time. This was a really fun piece to work on, and I got to mess around with some typography because, like I said, I made her look like a magazine cover. And it was honestly a pretty spontaneous decision, but at the same time, I'm glad I got to experiment a lot more this year and try new things like I did with Nautica and like I did with this piece as well. Definitely branching out into more stuff. A lot of the stuff that you're gonna also see for a lot of the other pieces is that I also branch out and trying backgrounds because those are things that I ignore a lot. But yeah, got to try out a lot of new things and have a lot more fun stuff to show. But with that, Elaine is basically done, and look at her. She just looks so cool. She turned out so cool. But yeah, anyways, on to the next piece, and this one starts one of my big revenge chains. And now we are on to my revenge chain, or at least one of them. Now, revenge chains are super fun if you're not familiar with Art Fight and you're popping by for like the summary of the year. So Art Fight chains are basically when you go back and forth, revenging another person, drawing each other's characters. It creates a chain. And usually the goal for Art Fight revenge chains is to keep them going throughout the month and trying to get them as big as possible. I will say I definitely broke my chain record from last year because we were drawing a lot. So, one of the people that I have my revenge chains with, Look It's Unknown, is a good art friend of mine. We started really hitting it off during Art Fight, and we just keep drawing each other's characters. We've collabed before, so if you haven't seen the stream where Look It's and Castiel MZ have popped in and we all drew together, you should definitely check it out. That's the last Art Fight stream of the season that I have on my channel. It was a super fun stream. It was super chaotic. I enjoyed it a lot, and I definitely plan on having more collaborations with them in the future because honestly, they're amazing artists and they're also stupid funny. So, you know, I love my art friends. But you guys will definitely be seeing them a lot more often because, you know, like I said again, they're absolutely fantastic. I absolutely adore them. They are amazing artists. And for Look It's Unknown specifically, Ren's art is very, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's very, like, soft but still expressive. I love how Ren draws their characters. Specifically their Sona, who they've added more bits to this year. This year they really spiced up their character, and honestly I absolutely adored it. You'll see later on I do draw Haruka, but right now this one is Peko. It's one of the other pieces that I decided that I wanted to start adding backgrounds to because that is one of the things that I really need to start getting more and more into practice because I don't really do backgrounds too often. And it really shows when I do a background. So I really need to be practicing on that just so I can keep improving my art. I need to start doing backgrounds. I can't avoid them forever. I can't hide behind character design. And something that coincides with that, unfortunately, I also need to practice lighting because it's not something I really play around with a lot. So you'll see that I've practiced some of that this year with both of my revenge chains. Just so I can start putting it more into practice, getting more comfortable with doing backgrounds, and hopefully next year we'll see that I start expanding even more. The whole thing for Art Fight for me is definitely what can I improve on? Let's push this aside from the half bodies that I usually do. So, usually for the bigger pieces, I try to expand on stuff that I want to practice during the run. For Peko, backgrounds, and lighting. I will say I definitely need to also do lighting as well. My lighting game is very lacking. But aside from that, it was a very fun practice. Peko's a very fun character. I love how small and squishy Peko is. And I love the little green creatures. I love little creature designs. So honestly, this design absolutely had to do something fun with them. So I wanted them playing around, like little forest sprites do. Honestly, it was such a fun piece to work on. Even if I wasn't like comfortable completely with like doing backgrounds and stuff. Admittedly, I could have done a better job with the background, but I tried. It took a bit. I'm pretty sure I did this one on stream as well. Yeah, it was a time, and I learned a lot. This character is it's so cute. It's so cute. Pekka's so cute. But with the next character in the revenge chain, we go backwards, so we don't do a background on that one. But we do a little bit of lighting practice. Just a little bit. So, as a revenge for this piece here, I ended up responding by attacking Palas. Palas? Palas? I don't know how to pronounce it. This other character, very spicy. This character didn't have too much information on them, just the fact that they were made from old bits of a deceased god. Which is super metal, by the way. It is super sick. Like, casually dropping, yeah, they were made from pieces of a deceased god. Oh, okay. So, definitely wanted to work with something along the lines of that concept. So, I ended up going with the classic apple motifs. Because, I don't know, I hear gods and I'm like, apple. I don't know why. I don't know. Actually, why did I choose an apple? Maybe it was just ingrained in me. But regardless, I wanted to go with those subtle motifs. I wanted to definitely give Palas a look of power, if that makes sense. Because from their character description, it seems like, you know, she doesn't have a lot of that, so I wanted to give her a moment of power, you know what I mean? Because, you know, she's got a big ol' appetite. And apparently that's the curse she's bearing. Which, given Galactus vibes, so I'm concerned. But I definitely wanted her to look super cool, super intimidating, very scary snake lady. I'm not gonna lie, I think she turned out pretty cool. Oh, that reminds me, as I'm looking right now, I did something different with the eyes. So a lot of my process during art fight, I'm basically doing a lot of like little different mini studies. And during my mini studies, when I was working on Palas, I was sketching out the eyes and stuff, and I just couldn't find something I was happy with that gave Palas that kind of like air of mystery, like very specific eyes I wanted. And I could not for the life of me capture that in my sketches. So I went on doing some eye studies for some eye shapes and stuff like that. Because I wanted her to not have too much of round eyes, but I also wanted them to be shaped. And I don't know how to describe it. I wanted her to have very specific eyes. Very, very specific. So I went on doing a lot of eye studies, and I ended up trying out something different from what I usually do, because how I usually draw eyes is I usually draw like the top lid curving all the way around and having a little gap before meeting like the bottom lid, if I had to describe it. So my eyes end up being very round despite the eye shape that I'm trying. So no matter what eye shape I'm doing, they usually end up looking round. And not like the normal kind of round, but the round in like a childish way. So it would work for characters like Nora. But for Moxie, I always have to do something different because Moxie isn't a childish character, she's more on the mature side. So eyes are definitely something that I'm looking into changing the way I do it, especially because it ended up looking so good on Palas. I mean, look at them eyes, gorgeous. But I think they definitely captured the look I was going for in regards to Paulus, especially in context of the piece itself. So that one was pretty cool, and now I can't unlearn. I'm still experimenting with the eyes. And honestly, I can't wait to see where it takes me because I'm enjoying the ride. But yeah, overall, this piece was super cool. I absolutely love how it turned out. Don't get me wrong, it's super simple, but sometimes you also need simple. Because you can practice all the big things, and then all of a sudden when you're trying to do a very simple piece, it'll give you so much trouble. So it's a good balance to have both, because sometimes the only things you want to convey is a single thing, but you want to convey it very well. So I think definitely with this one, it's simple, but it does its job, and I absolutely love how the apple turned out. I mean, that's a tasty looking apple right there, and it just... I'm real chuffed with myself. This art fight was such a good one. I'm so happy with so many of the pieces that I've done. The only thing that's bad about it is that I'm terrible at describing, like, what parts of them I really enjoy. Now, for this one, it's easy. The apple turned out super sick. Love the eyes. It was a fun piece to work on. And then, for the next revenge, we're going to Haruka. Now, listen, I'm a stubborn person. I am a very stubborn person. During this art fight, we kept going back and forth. We were duking it out on stream, and even the day after, oh my gosh. Now, with Ren, I had the final say, because Ren was eepy sleepy on the final day of art fight. So, this chain I won. I can't say the same for the other one, but I'm coming for you next year, Castiel. Fuck. I'm so bad at pronouncing shit. But yeah, we're on to Haruka. Haruka was done on stream. This one was very fun. Again, it's very simple. But like I said, Haruka got some changes. The changes were very, very nice. I love how Ren designs their characters. Like like look at Haruka. Like that's adorable. I love it. Like I don't even know how to describe it. That's just fantastic. That's some good shit right there. I love the colors, I love the outfit, I love like the vibe that Haruka's giving off, and trying to capture that in my own like little mini piece for Haruka. I had such a good time, especially drawing the hair. Oh my god, the hair turned out so good. The hair turned out so good. And yeah, it was so fun. I don't think I have a lot to add onto it. It's just a very simple drawing. I tried to like a little bit of a slightly overhead perspective. But the biggest amount of fun was just capturing the character design and translating it to my style, which, you know, I always have a great time with, because it's just like, how do I convert this in a way that it'll still look like the character, but it won't look weird because it's not my style, you know? And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this art fight. It was super cool. I can't wait to talk more in depth about the whole event as a whole in part 2, because there's some not so fun stuff I have to address, but it's mostly fun stuff, I promise. But we'll go into all the logistics and everything of it in part 2. For now, it's just my little personal feelings of, ooh, pretty art. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. This character design is amazing. Like I mentioned before, I love the colors. I just love the little bits of yellow and the pink hair. And then the balance of like the darker colors for the outfit. It's immaculate. It's delicious. I love it. I'm always so excited to draw Haruka every year, because it's just like, ah! So yeah. Like at this point, I'm just gushing about Ren's character design abilities. They're just fantastic. Absolutely adore them. There is another piece that I've done for Haruka. That one's gonna be in the other revenge chain though, because I ended up accidentally doing a double speed paint kind of situation thing. So this isn't the last piece that I did for Ren. We'll see it in the other one. You'll see what I mean. It was a very interesting final art fight day. But yeah, this wasn't the last piece. So I'll put the next like revenge picture here so you guys see what I'm reacting to for the next one. But the next one is in the other chain. But aside from that, absolutely fantastic. And I'm just real chuffed. This year was real good. It was a real good year, honestly. And of course I had to do a funny little thing on the shirt. Give me them kneecaps. That's been my whole thing for the entire art fight. Now people are quoting me on it and I'm like, oh shit. I think I just have to stick with it next year, honestly. I think I'm stuck with it forever with the kneecaps. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But aside from that, this piece is basically done, and so is this chain, aside from the one that I mentioned prior, so we're going to see that very soon. But before we get to the next revenge chain, let's go over today's sponsor. Oh my goodness. It'll be really quick, I promise. I'll see you guys for the next chain. Hello, it is me. I am the sponsor. Please stick around. I promise it'll be real quick. If you like what I do, if you love my art, if you want to see more, I've got a few options for how you can support the channel. Please consider checking out my YouTube channel memberships. It's the join button right next to the subscribe button. For that, you can get some really cute emojis, you can get some exclusive community posts, you can get early access to my videos if you want to see them before everybody else, and if you want some different stuff, I do have a Ko-fi. My art commissions are on my Ko-fi, so if you really like my art and you want a piece exclusively for yourself, I do have those commissions on my Ko-fi, and I also have 2 support tiers. If you guys want access to behind the scenes progress, if you want to see projects that I'm working on that I haven't posted about on YouTube or anywhere else, those will be on there. If you want exclusive doodle from me, my $10 support tier has an exclusive monthly doodle every single month from me and all that wonderful stuff. But if you can't support the channel in that way, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing my video with your friends, your family, anyone who likes art. All of that helps me out super much, and I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening, and now we go back to the video. Now, compared to Ren, at which we advanced at a very nice, relaxed pace, right? With Ren, the attack chain was a nice gradual increase, right? You know, we had a slope going. It was a very casual revenge chain. I did not have that with Castiel. If you guys remember from last year, Castiel is another art friend of mine that we started talking through Art Fight. His art is so nice. It's so nice. Compared to Ren, which is like nice and soft and expressive, Castiel's goes in the other direction and it is sharper and more shapely. I adore how Castiel uses shapes in their body language for their characters, especially in the structure of their faces. I love it. I love it. Now, Castiel, I'm not gonna lie, is a little crazy. We went from 0 to 100 in this art fight chain real quick. Look at what I had to revenge. Look at what I had to revenge. It kept going. It was like a spike chart. It was literally like, oh, 150, 150. Like it never went below 50. Every time I got a revenge, I was like, ah, shit, here we go again. I gotta step up my game. Like, it was a back and forth. This revenge chain, I had to go so ham to match the quality that Castiel kept throwing at me. Casually, mind you. They just popped in and was like, here you go. And I was like, what the fuck? I was sweating. So as you can see, this was my first retaliation. Oh my god, this piece. I had to look at so many crowd shots to do this one, to figure out the proportions. I drew so many half bodies. I got so many points for this one because of how many half bodies I fucking drew. There was so many. And I kept drawing the same one over and over it. I thought I was going to go crazy, especially with the hair. Oh my god, the hair. And I don't even think I captured the hair completely. Like, I don't know why. I was having such trouble drawing this character's hair, because his hair is so majestic and curly, and I'm like, why can't I do this? So next year, I definitely want to give him another go so I can try to draw that hair again, because oh my gosh, it's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. I tried my best this time around. I'll give myself some slack because I hadn't drawn him before, but next year I'm coming back with a vengeance. But yeah, I looked at so many crowd shots, and then from there, the coloring was just so repetitive. I'm gonna say this one had me on the brink. This one had me on the brink because I had to keep coloring all of them the same, shading them the same. The fun part got to the funny little lighting bit that I was doing towards the end, but even then, this one was just tedious just because of the amount of the same that I was drawing. But I pushed through, and it turned out really good. I really like how it turned out. I think it definitely conveyed the atmosphere of a Magus Archives OC. But yeah, this one was, my gosh. But hey, it turned out. I tried a few different like shading things to make it pop. I really tested those lighting layers just because I wanted it to look very atmospheric, if that makes sense. Especially because of the concept for it. But overall, I think this piece turned out really good. I really need to start practicing with lighting because oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this one had me on the brink, but honestly, I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I just keep going through it, guys. I just keep going through it. Because after this piece, after I was just like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine after this one. 2 days later, I was not fine. I was not fine at all. Nope. No. Funny can never relax during art fight. That is a pipe dream. Because then next I had to respond to this piece right here. I had to respond to this. We're back at it with the backgrounds, guys. We're back at it with the backgrounds. I can't relax. I can't do it. Nope. I can't do it. I mentioned it before. I'm a stubborn person. I gotta get back, you know? I gotta get back. So, of course, we go with the background. This time, we're attacking, Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse? Betelgeuse. Basil geese? I don't know. Either way, we're going with a Baldur's Gate OC. I believe he's a Dark Urge run as well. So, for this guy, with the background, since I also extremely enjoy Baldur's Gate, I wanted to draw one of the camps. Because this guy's a paladin. I'm not gonna lie, at this point in our fight, I did not want to draw armor. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna admit it. I was feeling a little lazy. I didn't want to draw paladin armor. I saw that shit and I was like, oh wow, look at that. There's a camp outfit reference. Let's use that instead. I wasn't in the mood to draw armor, guys. I was not in the mood to draw armor. So I took his camp rest outfit. And I wanted to do a scene in one of the camps, so I literally looked through so many screenshots in the game for the different camps, because I didn't know which one I wanted to do. I was gonna do the mushroom one, but I kind of wanted to save that for another occasion. So I ended up going with the first default camp, and then as a silly person, I kept looking through references for like 30 minutes. And after struggling when I was doing the sketch, I realized mid-sketch, hey, I have this game. I could have just opened the game and then just took a picture and based it off of that, because I literally have the game. And I have a save file in Act 1. So, you know, I was a little silly. I was a little bit of a silly goose, honestly. I should have thought about that. That would have honestly, like, helped me out a lot. But, you know, c'est la vie. We live and learn. You know, it just be like that. So, after realizing that, I just kept going. It was too late at this point. I had a sketch going. I was basically done with the sketch. I was just struggling with the proportions. Which is another thing I really have to do, because backgrounds comes with proportions, so that's another thing I have to make sure that everything is to scale. I feel like Betelgeuse was looking a little big, but then again, he's just a big guy. So, a little bit of struggling. Another thing that I wanted to do with this piece, because I wanted to put it in the evening time, definitely wanted to play a little bit with lighting. Because again, backgrounds and lighting come hand in hand. You've got to figure out what the light source is, and then figure out what kind you want. Daytime, nighttime, overcast, sunny. There's a whole bunch of stuff to figure out. I really got to practice lighting. I'm going to mention this so many times. I got to practice lighting. It is something that is haunting me. But I think this one turned out pretty good. If I'm being honest with myself. I was giving myself a hard time with this one because I don't know why. It just ended up looking really simple. I think it's because of the open field next to it. I should have added something in the way background, like a silhouette of trees or something to give it more depth. But it looks just a little flat to me now that I'm looking at it like a month after Art Fight. 2 months. It's October now. I feel like I should have added a little something in that background to give it more depth. But, you know, as I say, we live and we learn. Either way, aside from that little nitpick of mine, I really enjoyed how the piece turned out. It ended up looking really cool, and I can't wait to try more stuff with this character for the next run. But once again, second verse, same as the first. I thought I could rest. I thought I could chill. I could not. Once again, like 2 odd days later, boom, boom. What do I do about this? I go back to my roots. So for this next piece, this one is actually a redo of one I did last year. So last year, when I started attacking Castile, because I really like their characters, I started drawing their characters in a very similar format because I wanted to draw each one and I wanted it to be consistent, like a series of sorts. So I believe the first character I drew was Esme. Let me actually fact check myself. I'm pretty sure the first character I drew was Esme because Esme looked really cool and she had like this like cat look to her. I don't know why. I just looked. I saw her expressions in her character sheet and I was like, that looks like a cat. Let me see. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was Esme. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But this was the drawing I ended up doing last year. I had a lot to improve on. This shit is old. I have my pride on the line. So I ended up redoing this one because, I mean, look at it. Look at it. Needed a redo. It needed a redo real bad. Like, it was really good at the time of when I drew it, but there was a lot of things that I looked at and I was like, I could have done this better. So, here it is, part 2, Electric Boogaloo of Esme. Now, Esme is... she's a pretty cool character, I'm not gonna lie. But she's also very, like, stoic and calm, but in her backstory, you know, there's a little bit of that kind of crawling sense of unease, and I wanted to kind of try to catch that. So, once again, I used my new eye trick to capture a new eye shape for Esme. I feel like her eyes just ended up way too round the first time, even with the expression that I was drawing her in, so ended up changing the eye shape with my new technique. Honestly, her eyes look absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love how they turned out. Then, I gave her a better knife. I was looking at Castiel's reference. And Castiel was in my stream, by the way, when I was working on this. Castiel was in my stream, you know, and I was asking them questions, getting like little lore tidbits. I was getting fed. Right? And I was asking about the knife, and Castiel was like, oh yeah. I wasn't really looking at a reference when I drew it, and I was like, huh? What? So that was really funny. I also spent way too much time on this damn pendant that Castiel themselves even admitted that they made way too detailed, and I was like, it's too late, it's too far, I'm already committed to this, so I ended up finishing the pendant. Thankfully, it shows in the image. In my original sketch, it wouldn't have showed, and I was about to be devastated. But yeah, aside from all that, y'all, the change, the improvement, like, come on, even before this gets finished, look at this change from the first one to this one. Like, come on. Your girl had some improvement here. There is some improvement. Like, even with the Yangmei piece that I did for Ren at the beginning of the month, comparing that one to the last one, oh my goodness. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I took this year. Like, oh my goodness. I feel like I really popped off this year in Art Fight. Like, I got to try a lot of new things, but also my art just visually improved. And it's honestly fantastic to see. I absolutely love looking at the comparisons, and it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, she ended up turning out super cool, and I love how the lighting turned out with the end of it, especially because I fixed the way how her eyes glow, because I just couldn't capture that menacing glow the first time. But I feel like this time I got it. But yeah, she ended up turning out super cool. One of my favorite pieces from this revenge chain, just because of the improvement of it. And I'm a little biased, I'm not gonna lie. But even this couldn't save me. Even this couldn't save me, because we got this one. We got this one to worry about. So I had to go big or go home. So for this piece, I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I drew so much. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is phenomenal. What do I do about this? So, I decided to fall back on an earlier idea that I had during Art Fight. I really wanted to draw Castiel's Sona. And I thought to myself, what if I just draw his Sona with his characters? Because at the end of the day, I think every artist can agree that their OCs are like their children, their babies, you know? So it's always really fun to have yourself drawn with your characters. So I really wanted to give that to Castiel, because I was just like, you know what? Let's go big. So I decided to draw a bunch of Castiel's characters that I haven't even gotten to draw yet in Art Fight, because I wanted to have a wide range from the different fandoms that Castiel had, because Castiel is in the Magnus Archives fandom. Castiel plays Baldur's Gate, plays Pathfinder. So I wanted to grab little bits from everything that I've seen on their Art Fight page. So I grabbed Betelgeuse again, I grabbed their Pathfinder characters, Nassim, and I forgot the name of the Warforged, but that's the one on the right. And then I grabbed their Magnus Archives characters, and those ones are towards the bottom half of the page. I do admit 2 of them ended up getting a little bit covered up by the end of it, and I'm still a little mad at myself, because I feel like I could have changed the pose so that way all the characters were visible. But at some point when I noticed it was already too far into the drawing, and I was just like, I can't go back. So I just ended up leaving it as is for now. I think next year I would definitely love to do a redraw of this piece, just so I could get that little itch in my brain to go away whenever I look at this drawing. Like, whenever I look at it, there's just a little itch, because it's just like, I could have adjusted it. So I think next year I will definitely try to scratch that itch and make this another one of my redraws. But aside from that little, like, nitpick of mine, I am very happy with how the piece turned out. I think it turned out super cool. Even if the characters aren't as, like, on the foreground as I initially planned, I wanted them to be like a highlight of the piece, not the main focus of the piece, because I wanted the main focus to be on nobody, Castiel's Sona. So, I had to work that out. The only thing is, I had to balance, I had to balance something that I did not think about until I started coloring, because Castiel's Sona is invisible. Like, they're like a invisible man kind of situation, right? Which was great, because I didn't have to draw a face. But also not great, because I had to balance it in a way that the characters in the background didn't end up clashing with the literal zone of nothing in the middle of the head area. And make it look like a weird composition. So, I had to do some kind of layering tricks with the multiply layers to kind of reduce the brightness of the characters, if that makes sense in any way. Just so you can still see the characters, but you can also see in the middle of it, you can see the character in the middle clearly. Because I did not consider that when I was sketching, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Nobody is invisible. Which, by the way, on a side note, very good Sona design, by the way. I absolutely adore it. I love, like, the little, like, floating emoticons in the face area. They can be eyes, they can be, like, little emoticon symbols. I love it. I love it. It's hard to describe, but I love it. It's so cute. Castiel's sprite for the stream, there was a little coffee symbol when they went AFK. It was adorable. Like, this design it looks super fun. It looks super fun to work with. But yeah, that's that piece. I like it. It turned out. But again, I cannot rest. No rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked. Because now we are approaching the final bit of art fight. So, when I mentioned before that this was Ren's last piece, on the final art fight day, I ended up going back and forth between two pieces like a madman. Like a madman. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I was thinking. I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Between two drawings, one for Ren, one for Castiel, of my Sona with their Sona. And since I have two Sonas, they each got one of them. So, I don't know why. I just went back and forth between the two files. I lined one piece, then I lined the other. I went back, I colored one piece, I colored the other. I just kept going back and forth because I thought I was running out of time, but I was completely fine. So they didn't even end up as shaded as I wanted them to be because I thought I was running out of time and I wanted to post them. So I ended up going super simple on the shading when I could have gone a little bit more ham. This is why we check the art fight clock, people, because I thought I had a lot less time than I actually did. Because apparently, art fight doesn't end straight up in the afternoon. No, it ends around like 1 or 2 o'clock on the final day. I thought it ended at noon. I was wrong. Now, I will say, after these two pieces, there is a bit of a mini chain that went on with Castiel. I ended up plushifying their characters because it was getting very close to the end game. I posted a little plushification of their character Nassim when I thought art fight had ended. I thought I won. I thought I won our revenge chain, and then the clock kept going. The clock kept going. And I was like, what? So I had a whole other hour. I had a whole other hour to keep drawing back and forth, and I ended up losing our chain. Again. I'm coming for you next year, Castiel. I swear to God. But yeah, that was a whole thing. I didn't end up recording those ones because they were such quick sketches and colors that I was rapid firing. I didn't have time to be recording, not recording, recording, not record. I didn't have time, so I just rapid fired went at it. So if you want to see the last of those, definitely check out my art fight so you could see the plushification wars that briefly happened in the last hour of art fight. But yeah, those ones weren't recorded, but they were very quick little sketches. This is like the last like big sketches that I did. And honestly, they turned out super cute. And this event is just super fun. I really enjoyed it. I absolutely love all the things that I got to try and all the things I got to do. Playing around with backgrounds more often than I could. Playing around with lighting more often than I could. Trying out new ways to draw hair and eyes and stuff like that. Art Fight is an absolutely wonderful event, and I absolutely love all the characters I got to draw, and for all of you that I did not get to, I am so sorry. I straight up got assassinated, because I had so many attacks on my life, so I didn't get to revenge everybody, which sucks, because there were so many people that I wanted to get back to, because I absolutely loved the stuff that they sent me. So, warning, next year, kneecaps, watch out! You might be on my list. So, yeah, we'll see. Next year, I'm gonna try to get to as many people as I can. I will try. Will I succeed? Probably not. But, yeah. Thank you so much to everybody who attacked me and everybody who left such nice comments on my Art Fight page. Thank you so much. You guys are what makes this event uber fun. Thank you so much to Castile and Ren for coming on and streaming with me and drawing with me and being my art friends. I love you guys. Your art is absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait to see what we do in the future. But aside from that, these pieces are basically done. And yeah, keep an eye out for part 2 so you can hear my end-all be-all final thoughts on Art Fight and all of that jazz, going down into the nitty-gritty details. But for now, I shall bid you guys adieu and on to the next video. And if you want to get your name read at the end of my videos just like this, consider channel memberships! A big thank you to my channel memberships, Clossel and Kiersid. If you want early access to my videos, community posts, special Discord role, and you want to get in on the know, please consider subscribing to my channel memberships. And a big thank you to my Ko-fi supporter, Kiersid. Check out my Ko-fi if you want any of those special perks behind the scenes, or an exclusive monthly doodle from me. Thank you so much to my supporters. You guys help me do what I love to do, and I can't wait to see you guys for the next video, or I should say videos. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye!